Welcome to the Rural Development Fund Guidance webinar. In this presentation, you will find a program overview, important application parameters, tips for how to be competitive, and examples of successful applications from prior years. The Rural Development Fund provides financial support for the unique economic and community development needs in rural communities and small towns throughout the Commonwealth. In order to be eligible, an applicant must be a municipal government or another public entity from any Massachusetts town that meets the definition of a rural community, having 500 or fewer persons per square mile, and or a small town, having a total population of 7,000 or fewer persons. The Rural Development Fund is administered through the Community One Stop for Growth, a single application portal and collaborative review process designed to streamline the experience for the applicant and better coordinate economic development programs and staff on engagement and grant making. Keep in mind these important project parameters. The maximum budget for a Rural Development Fund award is $500,000 for site preparation, building, and infrastructure projects. And for planning and zoning projects, the maximum award is $110,000. A match of 10% or greater, whether cash or in kind, will receive additional points in the application review. The contract duration for Rural Development Fund projects is approximately 18 months, with contracts typically being made in the fall or winter and expiring at the end of the following fiscal year. For eligible use of funds, the program considers a variety of projects for funding under the planning and zoning, site preparation, building, and infrastructure development continuum categories, and has a broad use of eligible funds, including consultant fees, engineering and designing costs, and construction costs, among others. There are a few ineligible activities that will not be funded by the Rural Development Fund, including projects submitted as pass-through applications on behalf of a non-public entity, joint applications that include ineligible applicants, projects on buildings with primary municipal use, except for ADA improvement projects, and operational expenses, including town staff time. In order to be competitive, please keep in mind these factors. Reviewers will take into consideration the project plan and need, leadership and capacity to succeed, project readiness, budget, and alignment with rural policy plan focus areas. All of these areas should be strong and align well with the application and Rural Development Fund guidelines. There are several important questions that applicants should be sure to answer fully, including project narrative, scope of work, other match funding sources if applicable, and community description and engagement plan. Applicants should also be prepared to provide cost estimates and any development continuum specific attachments such as site plans, engineering documents, or select pages from plans that show the project is a local priority. What follows are two successful applications. The town of Belchertown received funding to complete full architectural and engineering designs for roof replacements at a vacant town-owned school. The scope of the project was critical to unlocking future investment and reactivating a public asset. The project was successful because it was part of a broader redevelopment that the town has been engaged with. Schematic plans and opinion of probable construction costs were completed prior to the application submission, indicating readiness, and the applicant clearly detailed the non-municipal planned uses of the building, although it was town-owned. Another successful application came from the town of Berkeley, which received funding for a townwide economic development plan. This project was successful because it was highly responsive to the one-stop application questions and the Rural Development Fund priorities, including leadership and capacity to succeed, a budget that was within the planning grant threshold and included a match, and the rural focus areas, including emphasis on a rurally relevant industry. Thank you for coming to the webinar, and best of luck with your Rural Development Fund Community One Stop for Growth application.